Do you ever feel like a rubber band that every time you take a step forward towards your goals, you get pulled right back, sometimes with a huge jolt? Today, we're going to explore why that is and how to change it. Hey everyone, it's Kristen here from KristenWestcott.com, where I help working moms simplify their lives so they can get organized and manage their time better and find an extra 2 hours a day for themselves. This month, I'm doing a 4-part video series on self-care, and today is the 4th part of our mini-series on incorporating self-care into your busy life. If you haven't had a chance to watch the first 3 videos, that's okay. I've posted the links to them in the comments below, and you can go back and watch them after this video. But I saved the best for last. Today, we're talking about consistency. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell beside it so you get notified when I post new videos and go live. Now let's get started with our final series video. So let's talk about consistency. My definition of consistency is taking small, very incremental steps in the direction that you want to go. Taking it slow and steady is the best way to make those big changes. If you try and change all your habits at once, you're going to bounce right back like that rubber band in the intro. But if you work on it slowly over time, then that band will stretch with you. So if you start by trying to fit just a bit of self-care into your day each day, and you do this consistently over a period of time, eventually it will become part of your regular routine, just a part of your everyday lifestyle. How many times have you started a new routine? Maybe it was going to the gym, or maybe it's organizing a part of your house, or sitting down to journal, or picking up a new hobby. And you feel so proud of yourself for getting started, and you feel great, and then all of a sudden you stop. And you kind of avoid picking up that hobby again, and before you know it, it's a month, and then that stretches into 2 or 3 months, and then you forget all about it. Right? Just look at the gyms in the first week of January versus the first week of February. It's common to start something and then stop a week or so into it. And sometimes this is because something comes up to throw us off our game, or maybe we hit a roadblock that we don't know how to navigate. But ultimately, what we need is to build consistency into our lifestyle. What we need to do is to make self-care a priority in our lives. And if you need a refresher on what self-care is and how important it is, then check out video 2 in this mini-series. I've put a link to that in the description below this video. So one of the ways to make sure that you're consistent in your self-care practice is to make sure that you're scheduling it in. Fitting in self-care isn't just going to happen magically overnight, especially if you're a busy working mom. You need to schedule it in and plan for it. So set aside some time each day to fit in just a little bit of self-care. You may decide to take a 10-minute walk on your lunch break, or spend 10 minutes after work reading a chapter from your book before you rush off to pick up your kids. Or maybe your best time is in the morning. And then if that's the case, just get up 10 minutes earlier and spend some time engaging in a self-care activity. So whether it's reading or journaling, writing, being creative, working out, whatever it is, start with 10 minutes. Right? Or just one small step, and then increase your goal slightly every single week. If you block this 10 minutes or more into your calendar each day, you're more likely to stick to it. And the more you stick to it, the more you make it a habit and just a part of your lifestyle, then scheduling it in really doesn't become as big of a problem because you've made it so consistent. It's just a part of your lifestyle, just like getting up to brush your teeth, right? You don't schedule that in anymore, but because you've done it for so long since you were a kid, you no longer have to think about it. And that's the goal, is you schedule things in until they become such a consistent part of what you're doing that you no longer have to think about when you're going to fit them into your day. The second thing is to make it fun. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it. And really, what's the point in doing self-care if you don't enjoy it? Self-care should be enjoyed 100% of the time. So if you hate running, then try a different form of movement that you do enjoy. Maybe take a walk with your dog, or maybe partner up with somebody else and go on a walk with a friend. And if you don't enjoy reading sci-fi, then that doesn't matter if all your coworkers have read the latest sci-fi bestseller. Skip it and pick up a book that you do enjoy. You're not in school anymore, so you don't have to read what other people tell you to read. You can get to pick your own book. You're more likely to be consistent with something and find the time for it if you enjoy it. And we have so many things in our lives that we need to do that aren't enjoyable, like cleaning the bathroom, that we need to make sure our self-care balances that out and that it's something that we really look forward to in each day. So make sure that the self-care activities that you're picking for your day are things that are fun and enjoyable and stuff that you look forward to. So the third thing is to make sure that you don't get too complicated. One of the reasons I often give up on things is because I overcomplicate them. There's a lot of information out there on the internet, and you can get caught up in researching all of the best ways to do things. And then you get so overwhelmed by all the information, you give up on actually doing what you wanted to do. So let's say you want to experiment with taking pictures. Start with the camera that you have or your smartphone and just go shoot some pictures. And then learn how to edit or play around with those features on your computer with programs that you have or free programs on the internet. And then as you progress further, you can start to think about other things. Same thing if you want to start running. Don't get all caught up in buying all of the gear and figuring what shoes are best for your foot. Put on your current running shoes and head out for a walk first. Then from there, you can start to go for a jog. And then maybe as you start to go for a run and you start to do this consistently, then you can look into getting some new shoes. But get moving first, or your new shoes are just going to sit there in the closet. So don't make things too complicated to get started. Keep it simple, get started, and then start experimenting or figuring things out as you go. Remember, this is self-care. It's supposed to be fun and easy and simple. We're not supposed to be making it really, really difficult for ourselves to fit this into our day. The next thing is to focus on just one thing, right? Maybe by now you're really excited to start taking some time to explore a hobby that you've been kind of putting off, and maybe you have a whole bunch of ideas about all these different things that you want to do. And if that's the case, then great. I'm so happy that you found some things that you want to do. But start with just one. Trying to do multiple things at once while you're just getting used to putting some self-care into your routine can get really overwhelming very fast. And I get it. I am a jump in with both feet kind of girl. A little bit impatient, I must admit. But trust me, slow and steady is much better. You're more likely to see results this way than if you try to do everything all at once. The next thing is to track it. So the best way to see your progress is to track it. So whether you use a notebook and pen, a calendar, an app, it doesn't really matter, but start tracking your self-care. Did you spend 10 minutes reading today? Check, click, or X, whatever you choose to do. This will allow you to see just how consistent you're being. For example, at the beginning of the year, I decided I wanted to spend some more time writing, just for me, not for a work project or anything else. And eventually, I'd like to publish an article in a magazine, but for me, that felt like it was too big or too scary to do right now. And so I kept putting it off. But this year, I committed to just writing for 10 minutes each day. And then I created a little habit tracker, and every day I write, I mark it off. Or sometimes I write how many words I wrote that day. You can download my habit tracker for free by clicking the link below this video. But be warned, it's kind of addicting to see all those little X's in a row on the calendar. You want to make sure that you're consistent just so that you don't break the chain, which for me is kind of fun, but you'd have to be the judge of that yourself. The next thing is to reward yourself. Now, before you roll your eyes at me and think that's so juvenile, remember that you are human, and humans work on the reward system. You go to work every day, right? Why? Because you get paid. That's your reward. We do certain things because we get a reward. So why not reward yourself for reaching certain milestones in your self-care? If you worked out every day for a month, then maybe order a new outfit. If you finished up your intro to photography class, then maybe buy yourself one new photography toy to try out. When I reach a milestone, I like to book a massage or another form of self-care that I don't indulge in every day. It's like a reward for doing something that I like, and how much better can that get? But it also helps me push to take care of myself on the days that I feel the urge to kind of push through and continue knocking stuff off my to-do list. And sometimes I need that extra little carrot dangling out in front of me to help me remember how important my self-care is to every part of my life. So the next one is to set a trigger. It might be a song, an image, an alarm. It can be anything really, but pick a trigger, and whenever that trigger comes up, it signals your brain to get in the groove for that activity. So I have an alarm on my phone that goes off each evening to sit down and do my 10 minutes of writing. The alarm is my trigger, but as I transition from whatever I'm doing into writing, I also play an instrumental song on my computer to help my brain remember what it is supposed to be doing and what I'm supposed to be focusing on at that time. A lot of athletes do this as well. They have a trigger, whether it's a song or an image, something that helps them kind of get into the zone. Using triggers can be really helpful in keeping you consistent with your new self-care habit. And so now I'd love to know what you do to stay consistent as you make small changes in your life. Or if you aren't currently doing anything, which strategy are you going to try first from today's video? So I really hope you enjoyed our mini-series on self-care, where we covered what self-care is, how to develop self-discipline, how to set boundaries, and today, how to develop consistency with your self-care habit. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the first 3 videos, go ahead and check them out now. The links are in the description below this video. And before you go, please give me a like and share if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get new videos each week to help you with your self-care as a busy mom. So that's it for today, and that's it for our series. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. We'll be right back.